Live, local, breaking news. This is WYFF News 4 at 6 in high definition.
Protests around the country reaching the upstate at Clemson University and in Greenville. But the story in New York, police putting on their riot gear as demonstrators lie in the street to protest for Eric Garner. And then there's this.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe! Just for who? Eric Garner! No justice, no peace!
All this, the reaction to a grand jury in New York after it decided not to indict a white police officer in the July chokehold death of an unarmed black man.
First, though, we have breaking news in Greenville tonight. Police say they're on the scene of a death investigation. This is video from Sky 4 over Keith Drive.
This is near East North Street Academy. We're still working to get details on this, still gathering information for you. Police tell us when they got there, they found a man with an apparent gunshot wound. Again, we're still working the story from the ground and from our newsroom. Check with WYFF4.com. We'll keep you up to date there and on the air. Look in the media window there on the front page for more. Still more breaking news tonight. This concerns the sexual molestation case against Christian radio talk show host Joshua Kimbrell. He was charged in October with criminal sexual conduct with a 3-year-old. But tonight, Kimbrell's lawyers say the Department of Social Services has investigated the case and made a ruling of unfounded. The criminal charges are still active with the solicitor's office. However, Kimbrell's attorneys tell us DSS results have been forwarded there to the solicitor. They're awaiting a decision on whether the charges will be dropped. Kimbrell worked for Christian Talk 660.
Another look here at Clemson University. The students are staging a die-in. They're lying down at Tillman Hall in protest of the grand jury's decision last night.
We have people dying every day, and this it could represent the sea of bodies that die every day and nobody ever does anything about it.
Now, the students aren't just at Tillman Hall. They are expected to move around the campus as this protest continues. And
a Sky 4 view from downtown Greenville. Protesters have started showing up here. This, of course, is the federal courthouse, a church in Washington Street. You may be able to recognize it there. Today, we've seen demonstrators protesting with their hands in the air as they remember Michael Brown, and others chanting, "I can't breathe," in protest of the Eric Garner decision. We've also found protesters on Lawrence Road and West Antrim Drive. This was around 4 this afternoon. Organizers say they plan to continue to honor the lives of those killed by law enforcement. Now, Eric Garner's widow continues to speak out after last night's decision not to indict.
Daniel Pantaleo, the officer who was not indicted, said in a statement, quote, "It is never my intention to harm anyone, and I feel very bad about the death of Mr. Garner," end quote. Eric Garner's wife says it's too late for remorse.
The time for remorse would have been when my husband was yelling to breathe. That would have been the time for him to show some type of remorse or some type of care for another human being's life. When he was screaming 11 times that he can't breathe. So there's nothing that him or his prayers or anything else would make me feel any different. My husband is 6 feet under, and I'm looking for a way to feed my kids now.
Protesters also out in force in St. Louis. About 200 demonstrators in the streets last night. The New York decision not to indict a police officer there touching a nerve with protesters in Missouri. That decision comes after a Ferguson grand jury decided not to indict an officer who shot and killed an unarmed black teen, Michael Brown. And a show of solidarity in Atlanta. About 150 protesters gathered peacefully in downtown. Media there reported some of the demonstrators were lying in the street as part of a die-in. And others carried signs that read, quote, "Black Lives Matter and listen to the people cry." A man who brutally raped an 83-year-old woman in front of her young granddaughter pleaded guilty to the charges in court today. WYFF News 4's Gabrielle Komorowski was in court. Gab?
Carol, Frederick Evans was on death row, but this plea has spared his life and brought closure to a Greer family that had many questions for decades. Frederick Evans pleaded guilty to the crime that has haunted the Hughes family for decades.
I just want to let everybody know, never, ever give up.
Doris Hughes never gave up, trying to find the man who raped her 83-year-old mother Eloise inside her Greenville County home 23 years ago. Doris's 8-year-old daughter saw the entire thing.
He tied my daughter up with a phone cord.
The case was cold for years. Eloise died in 1999. But in 2006, new DNA testing linked Frederick Evans to the crime. He He was already on death row for 2 murders that happened in Spartanburg County in 2002 and 2003.
For what he's done over the years to people, he deserved the death penalty.
But the death penalty sentence was overturned in court Thursday. The defense planned to argue that Evans could not be sentenced to death due to intellectual disability, something the prosecution could not easily disprove. 7th Circuit Solicitor Barry Barnett said Evans' guilty plea was the best option.
The way I looked at it, if I get closure for all these families, including the Greenville County family, I mean, that's the goal.
For the crime in Greenville County and the 2 murders in Spartanburg County, Evans was given 3 consecutive life sentences with no parole, plus 155 years in prison. He spoke briefly in court.
I want to apologize for my actions. I'm sorry.
Doris's daughter, now a grown-up, also spoke.
You are a monster and get what you deserve.
The Hughes family calls this justice Eloise Hughes did not live to see.
If Mama was here today, she would say that she forgave him and for him to get his heart right with the Lord.
Solicitor Barnett said he spoke to the families of the 2 murder victims in Spartanburg County, and they agreed if Evans was sentenced to life without parole with no chance of getting out, they would support the new sentence. Carol.
Gabby, thank you. Also in Greer tonight, the body of a missing man was found this morning in a pond. The coroner was called to the scene on Arlington Road. The man was identified as Harold Batson. Batson was reported missing on Wednesday night. The pond his body was found in is located behind the family home.
A bond hearing was held this afternoon for an accused drunk driver. Troopers say he rear-ended a woman's car, causing her death. That woman who died is 75-year-old Peggy Garrett. The wreck happened on East Blackstock Road. Tonight, troopers charged John Newman with DUI resulting in death. They say Newman slammed into the back of the car and the impact sent the car into oncoming traffic. Highway Patrol says she was then hit by an oncoming car, and troopers say the driver of that car had to be taken to the hospital.
That's the scary thing. When somebody gets on a road, they never dream they'd be involved in something like this. And that's the reason why it's so dangerous. And that's the concern I've got for the DUI laws. I mean, the videotape statute, part of the DUI law, needs to be redone. And unfortunately, I keep seeing these cases over and over again.
Here again, this is John Newman. Tonight he faces prescription drug and DUI charges, and his bond was set at $20,000. The Hart County Sheriff tells us Marco Tulio Hernandez Ramirez is now in his custody. Deputies say Ramirez is the driver who crossed the center line in Livonia on Livonia Highway and killed a family of 3. The sheriff says Ramirez was drinking and driving when it happened. Ramirez faces a homicide by vehicle, DUI, and a theft charge as well.
A Westminster man accused of felony DUI charges in a fatal car crash this past September will not face charges. In fact, toxicology reports show 52-year-old Drew Woodall Green had a blood alcohol level of 0.0 at the time of the crash on US 76. He had no drugs in his system either. What he did have was lactic acidosis. That's a dangerous buildup of lactic acid in the bloodstream, which can cause confusion, loss of consciousness, even seizures. Green's truck was involved in a 5-vehicle wreck that resulted in the deaths of 25-year-old Michelle Wright and 29-year-old Joshua Silvers, both of Iva. Greenville County officials say legally married same-sex couples are now eligible for benefit plans offered by the county. It's all due to the recent changes in statewide marriage laws. Eligible employees married in another district have 30 days to enroll. If not, those employees won't be able to enroll until open enrollment next year.